Licensed games have always had a hit or miss reputation, but every so often a movie tie-in breaks that mold and delivers something far more better than anyone expected. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith on the PlayStation 2 is one of those rare surprises.
Don't worry, Master. I'm not worried.
Released in 2005 by The Collective and LucasArts, the game arrived alongside the final film in George Lucas's prequel trilogy, and while many might have expected a straightforward adaptation, what fans actually received was a tight, focused, and surprisingly deep action experience that embodied the feeling of mastering the ways of the Jedi. At its core, Revenge of the Sith is an underrated gem that captures the spirit of Star Wars through responsive combat, cinematic presentation, and moments of raw intensity that still hold up remarkably well today. But let's not waste any more time and get into why. The game faithfully follows the events of Episode 3, mapping out Anakin Skywalker's fall from hero to villain and Obi-Wan Kenobi's eventual desperate attempt to stop him.
I will do what I must.
While the story mirrors the movie's plot, it feels far more personal in the game thanks to its tight mission structure and focus on the two central Jedi. Players will alternate between Anakin and Obi-Wan across a series of missions that parallel key moments from the film. From the opening space assault aboard General Grievous's ship, to the haunting attack on the Jedi Temple, and finally the fiery and climatic showdown on Mustafar. What makes this adaptation special is how it expands these sequences beyond their cinematic versions, adding fresh context and gameplay scenarios that enhance the overall emotional weight.
No, it's your treachery that's finished.
The mission design leans heavily into the duality of both Jedi, as Obi-Wan's missions often involve fighting alongside allies, while Anakin's sections grow more increasingly aggressive, showcasing his descent to the dark side through both dialogue and gameplay style. Where Revenge of the Sith truly shines is in its gameplay. At a glance, it's a third-person hack-and-slash title, but underneath lies a surprisingly robust combat system built around fluid combos, force abilities, and upgradable skills that reward both aggression and precision. Combat feels weighty and satisfying, with each swing of the lightsaber connecting with real impact, allowing players to chain together light and heavy attacks to form an array of combos. Experimenting with these is half the fun. As you mix slashes, finishes, and force powers, you start to feel like a true Jedi.
There's one lesson you've yet to learn: how to become one with the Force.
Players can parry incoming strikes, counterattack, and grapple enemies with seamless transitions between melee and force attacks. It's fast-paced but never too chaotic, with decent hit detection and responsiveness that make each encounter feel cinematic. Both Anakin and Obi-Wan have distinct combat styles, with Obi-Wan favouring balanced and defensive techniques that reflect his calm, composed demeanour, while Anakin's combos are raw and powerful, emphasising speed and ferocity. Each character has access to their own skill tree, allowing players to spend experience points to unlock new combos and improve force powers. Adding to the depth is a combat rating system that evaluates your performance after each mission. Players' scores are based on the rating of each kill, dependent on performing different combos and powers to increase their rating, which demands timing, precision, and full control over your character's abilities. And this really encourages mastery of the combat system and its mechanics, further incentivizing replayability.
We'll see about that.
Boss battles stand out as some of the game's most monumental events, as they bring out the best of the combat system. These duels play out like fighting games, with a one-on-one camera perspective that focuses on intensity and precision. Facing foes like Count Dooku and General Grievous requires learning their attack patterns and reacting with perfect parries and counters. Although nothing compares to the final battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar, which is a beautifully chaotic clash surrounded by molten lava and collapsing structures. The fight's raw emotion, amplified by its environment, remains one of the most iconic moments in any Star Wars game.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
Still, the game isn't without its challenges, with later missions, particularly one on Mustafar, can be slightly unforgiving. A certain very annoying type of enemy during that mission can be quite relentless, often swarming in large numbers and stunning the hell out of Anakin and the player for any careless play. Some other encounters, especially with blaster turrets, can borderline be frustrating and detrimental when players are trying to build up their rating meter, as you're forced to carefully manage spacing and resources to survive. Yet in all of that, this difficulty can add gratifying weight to every victory, making the experience feel earned rather than simply handed to you. Outside the main campaign, the developers included plenty of extras to keep players invested. The bonus missions allow you to take control of secondary characters like Yoda and even General Grievous in alternate what-if scenarios. These short levels are pure fan service and offer a fun change of pace, letting you explore different combat styles and iconic moments outside the main story, although I highly encourage you to avoid the first bonus mission. Does that mean I have to kill? Oh my god! What the hell is going on? In addition to that, there is the popular versus mode as well, which allows you to challenge a friend or the CPU in head-to-head lightsaber duels. It's surprisingly well balanced and a blast to play, offering a range of characters each with their own abilities and movesets, allowing players to create their own dream matches and what-if moments. There is also a local co-op survival mode where you can team up with a friend to experience gameplay very similar to the campaign, given the campaign itself doesn't support co-op. And this really just illustrates how the developers gave players multiple ways to enjoy the game's offerings, which is a rare feature for an action game of its kind these days. Moving on, for a 2005 PS2 and Xbox release, Revenge of the Sith is visually impressive. The environments are richly detailed, the lighting effects are striking, and the character models boast some awesome animations. Watching lightsabers clash with glowing sparks or seeing reflections dance across metallic hallways helps bring the Star Wars universe to life. Each environment feels distinct, like the sterile corridors of General Grievous's ship, contrasting beautifully with the ruined structures of the Jedi Temple and the molten fury of Mustafar, ensuring the visuals never feel repetitive, and subtle touches like debris, smoke, and lighting heighten the immersion. The character animations are particularly noteworthy as Anakin's movements grow more erratic and aggressive as the story progresses, mirroring his emotional descent, while Obi-Wan's animations remain precise and measured. Small details like cape physics, saber ignition, and enemy reaction animations add simple layers of polish that make it all feel faithful to its movie counterpart.
What?
You'll have to do better than that.
Enemy variety is solid too, with players facing off against waves of battle droids, Magna Guards, clone troopers, and lightsaber-wielding Jedi, with each enemy type demanding a different approach. Droids shoot from afar, clones swarm in and blast from range, and Jedi enemies parry and counter just like Anakin and Obi-Wan can, and this constant shift keeps combat fresh and engaging throughout each mission. As expected from any Star Wars title, the sound design is always the most flawless aspect. The lightsabers hum and crackle with authenticity, force powers echo with deep cinematic bass, and the voice acting is decently serviceable to convey the drama of the story convincingly. Many of the cast from the film did not reprise their roles in the game, although the voice actors do an admirable job at attempting to capture the spirit of their film counterparts.
You will try, my old friend.
The soundtrack, composed using John Williams' original film score as every Star Wars game does, elevates the game's presentation in every way, really just being an outright cheat code. Overall, the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith video game remains one of the most underrated movie tie-ins of its generation, proving to be a game that went beyond the expectations of its license and delivering an exciting Jedi spectacle with deep, rewarding combat, cinematic boss battles, co-op gameplay, and memorable missions that captured everything that made this entry in the prequels trilogy so special. Sure, it isn't perfect and far from the best movie tie-in game, but the game's tight pacing, satisfying mechanics, and replay value make it a must-play for fans of the franchise. Whether you're revisiting it out of nostalgia or discovering it for the first time, this is a Star Wars game that still holds up beautifully well and one that lets you get a feel and taste of the power of the Force.
I won't be long, Master.
Be careful.
Always on the move.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a comment below and I'll see you in the next one.